Here lately, Andre Drummond gave his opinion on the Lakers and the organization. Now, Andre Drummond speaks on the Lakers in high regards, I would say, because he speaks on them and saying that you got to be built different to play for the Lakers. And, honestly, at this point, I would say the way based upon he was saying it, I would disagree because you don't have to be built a certain way to play for the Lakers the way they are now. I feel like you had to be built to play for the Lakers maybe a few years ago or years before that, you know what I'm saying? Because I understand the bright lights in the big city and everything out here in LA. I do understand all that stuff, but the team is really not going far now. When you look at the team the way it is now, they're not built for a championship right now. Right now, they're not even built for the play-in tournament because they ain't even make that. So, throughout the years and the legacy of the Lakers, of course, you got to be built different to play for them. But the main thing I think he more so should have really looked into the saying was you got to be built a certain way to play with LeBron James, because LeBron is the diva. Even though he's the best player, he's the diva. You see what I'm saying? So Lakers, you don't have to be built for anything to play for them now because they really don't have, if you look at them currently as constructed, the way they are today as we speak, you don't have to be built for anything. They're a mediocre team at best. They're not going nowhere no time soon. Russell Westbrook is not getting traded. LeBron is going to get older at some point, even though he's old now by age. And Anthony Davis is not the player a lot of people expected him to be going forward after they won the championship in the bubble. You see what I'm saying? And I understand what Andre Drummond is saying to a degree, the bright lights and all that, LA, the big city, the everything, the expectations. He's right about all that. The expectations is there, but LA fans are just going to have to realize going forward, unless some drastic changes are going to happen, this is who they are. Barely making a playoff, barely making a play-in tournament because of who's on the roster. And right now, I don't see them going further than what they are anytime soon because they haven't made any roster changes. Not saying they won't in the offseason, but it's only but so many changes you can make when teams don't want what you have. Nobody really wants Carmelo Anthony, not on their team. So they can't trade Carmelo and get a good piece back. They can't trade Russell Westbrook and get a good piece back. Nobody wants him. You see what I'm saying? Anthony Davis stock is going down. Taylor Horton-Tucker, they tried to trade him and teams just don't see enough out of him really to be like, okay, he's definitely gonna be a future for our franchise. He doesn't look like that. Malik Monk and Austin Reeves look like the best players they got besides LeBron James. You can throw Anthony Davis in there too, only because who he is for the Lakers. He won a championship, but I'm just saying they look like the best players on the team, and that's not saying much with those two young guys and two older, and one guy's older than LeBron and the other one's injury prone. That's the reason why they can't get far. And plus they don't play no defense. So it's like, I understand where Andre's coming from, but I just slightly disagree based upon the way the team is constructed now. Throughout the years before, you definitely had to be built different to play for the organization because they were playing mainly just for championships. Now they're playing for their playoff lives, and it looks like it's not going to be any better anytime soon. Because like I said, they're still going to have the same team. They got a rookie head coach. And I don't know how good that Darvin Ham was going to be as a head coach with this type of pressure because, this is where, what Andre Drummond said does play in effect. Coaching for LA, playing for the LA Lakers, putting on that jersey, it definitely means something. It's definitely a lot of pride behind it. It's definitely a lot of legacy behind it. And I definitely agree with Andre Drummond in regards to that. The only problem is, the way the Lakers are constructed now, it's almost as if all that type of legacy stuff have went out the window. When you have 3 top 75 players and you can't even make a play-in tournament where they give you a second chance to make the playoffs, where they didn't used to have that years ago, that says very, very little or minimal about your team in regards to the success you're going to have going forward. And it's not saying they can't make changes or anything like that. It's not saying they can't be a better team in the future, but that's basically saying that there has to be a lot of changes made, or specifically the right changes made in order for this team to be better, because LeBron's not getting any younger and he's not going to average 30 points going forward every single season. It's just not going to happen, because honestly, by now, Anthony Davis should be the number 1 guy on the team, but LeBron can't give him the keys because Anthony Davis don't deserve it, because he can't stay healthy enough to do it. So it's like, You can't give the keys to Russell Westbrook because you know he'll screw it up like he screws everything up, which is one reason why he doesn't even have a championship. So it's like, when you look at this team, they're just like bottom feeders almost. So that's the only reason why I partially, or should I say, I disagree with Andre Drummond in the statement, is because based upon on the team right now, there is no legacy. There is no anything, because this team doesn't play with the same pride as any of those Laker teams previously before them. They don't have the same energy. They don't have the same spunk. They don't have the same anything you could think of, because it's like LeBron put up great numbers, but they won not a thing. And they got beat by so many teams when they had leads this season, 10, 20, 30-point leads, and teams come back on them because they don't have no defense. And, if Andre Drummond was still there, maybe their defense would be a little bit better, but I don't even think that's true, because one guy is not going to make that much of a difference. So that's why I said the Lakers are just in a bad situation. Unless they make some dramatic or drastic type changes in this offseason, they're going to be the same team they were pretty much predominantly like last season. And I think a lot of people realize that, and a lot of people don't want to realize it because they want them to be better, but they're not going to be much better even if they are better than what they were last season. Now, better for them right now, the way they're currently constructed, will be good enough to make the playoffs and try to, see if they can get their foot in the door and maybe try to, maybe knock a team off in the first round and see where their chances take them. Because honestly, when you look at the West, they don't stack up well against anybody. The Clippers, I don't think they can beat them, not if they're healthy. Hell, I don't think they could beat anybody. I don't think they could beat Denver. I don't even think they could beat Phoenix in a 7-game series. I really don't. Last time the Phoenix Suns played them, they beat them 4-1. And Anthony Davis got hurt again. And that's one thing that Lakers fans seem to keep, getting twisted. Oh, if Anthony Davis is healthy, we'll be so much of a better team. How do you know that for sure? How do you know that for sure? One thing about Anthony Davis that I've always noticed, he has a great talent, but he don't have that dog in him like people think. He don't have that dog in him like if you took Giannis' heart and put it inside AD's chest, AD would be the best player in the league. No doubt about it. But you know why AD never dominates like a Giannis Antetokounmpo? Because he doesn't have that dog in him. He doesn't have that mentality of, I'm the best player on this floor and I better get my respect. And the fact that he doesn't play like that, which is one reason why the Lakers are not a dominant team that everybody thought they would be after they won that championship that some people think was luck in the bubble. And that's the problem. And that's a huge problem. And that's the one problem that the Lakers can't seem to solve, is his injuries, because he's supposed to be the best player on the team. So in regards to Andre Drummond, yeah, putting on that Lakers jersey, it's a lot of pride to it. It's a lot of everything. But the only thing it isn't anymore, it isn't built on we need to win a championship. Because looking at this team we saw last year, they are lucky enough if they make the playoffs or a play-in tournament. They can't worry about no championship, because honestly, right now, that's not the stage they're at. They can't worry about being a dominant team. They're not even a good team. So the legacy, the everything that's always come to Lakers, this Lakers team don't have that. This Lakers team is missing that heart. This Lakers team is missing that mentality of domination. This Lakers team right here is missing all the intangibles that championship teams usually have. So we'll see how they pan out. And hopefully, maybe their season will be better than last. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.